r/AskReddit. Men of Reddit, what do women do that they think is okay but is actually creepy? Used to work in an office full of women. There were 2 other men, but I was the only fit young guy, 30. They'd routinely comment about my physique. Gawking. Touching. Many of them married and or church going type. Women can be just as creepy as men. Honestly, hands down, women who exploit emotions of men. We may not all cry in the movie theater, but we are not incapable of experiencing deep painful emotional wounds. In general, it seems to be more acceptable for women to rag on guys for our image, like our height, weight, or income, while the flip side being that men cannot criticize women without being a pig. So yeah, women who nitpick guys for superficial reasons are creepy, arrogant, and covered with more red flags than a game of Minesweeper. You have to install this GPS tracking app on your phone, so I know where you are anytime I want to check. That's a serious trust issue. Yes, it is annoying. I'm so glad my wife doesn't need to check up on me. Her friend, on the other hand, has a boyfriend that is required to have the app installed in order to be in a relationship with her. The kicker? She feels she doesn't need the app installed because she won't cheat. I feel so bad for that guy. This shit just isn't fair. Not exclusively a woman thing, but my ex would screenshot our text conversations and send them to her family and friends for reaction. Like mundane conversations, not even anything interesting. It felt like a very creepy violation of my privacy. Also, she was an idiot. Hope you see this, Laura. I have a friend that, whenever she starts dating a guy, just lists me off thing about the dude, like she's listing a resume. Never anything about the personality or sense of humor or what characteristics about them she enjoys. It's job, career, college, earnings, house. I had to tell her it was getting creepy because it just sounds like she's getting a checklist to impress people, not find a good person for her. I was dropping my kid off at my ex's place and her new boyfriend was there. She introduced him by saying this is Dan, he works at wherever it was and makes $116,000 a year. The poor guy looked deeply uncomfortable. Edit. That wasn't actually the first time she'd told me that. She texted me about it once before saying something like, I really want you to meet Dan. He gets paid $116,000 a duck off incorporated. Yeah, I was sitting here thinking, I wonder if he knows that she's sharing all this information with her friends. But if he told her out of the gate he made 6 figures, like on the first date, maybe he's okay with it. It still would make me uncomfortable to be on either side of that. Maybe not creepy, but FFS, stop pulling on my beard and arm hair. Like, that crap is seriously uncomfortable, and pulling out a beard hair stings like duck. It's literally attached to my face. You are in my personal space, tugging my hair, and causing me a little pain. Ladies, I don't care how fun it is, please stop or I'll make fun of your eyebrows. The way girls share really personal things about guys in relation to sex. Society and the media would have you believe that guys talk about sex all the time and just objectify the women that they've slept with. I don't know if maybe I'm just hanging out with the wrong people, but honestly the most you usually get out of a guy is just that they had sex with a girl. And the only time we discuss details are when you're just like trading stories. But girls tend to like immediately report on things to their friends and share details that honestly could be embarrassing or uncomfortable for the guy. It makes me really uncomfortable and creeped out to think that if I sleep with the girls I have to just accept that all of her friends are going to know every detail about the experience. Size, performance, how long it lasted, how I look. It just feels like a huge breach of privacy. This has always messed with me. I can literally count on one hand the number of times men in my life have discussed a woman sexually or objectifyingly, and 3 of those times we were like 15. But it's just taken as granted that all men are constantly waiting for the women to leave the room so we can rate their tits. Went out with a group of guys last weekend. There were 6 of us, and this random girl started hanging around us like a lost puppy and just wouldn't leave. She was attractive, but so obviously desperate for attention that none of our group of guys really cared to give her any. This girl was just looking at everyone batting her eyes, and trying to hug everyone, but the guys were just pawning her off on each other. Not sure if this is pathetic more than creepy, but if a guy did the same thing, he'd be labeled with creepy. So yeah, she was creepy to me. I honestly thought she was a hooker or something trying to sell services or some crap. The way she was approaching dudes, it's not ducking normal. When women say things like, if I were 10 years younger, about underage boys it's creepy, gives off pedo vibes, and if the genders were reversed you'd call the FBI. My dad married a woman when I was in middle school. She used to say this to me all the time. If I were younger I would have picked you, not your dad. It always weirded me out. But she was weird and creepy on whole other levels. Unwanted physical contact. Was out to dinner with a bunch of friends. Coincidentally, they were all women, and the waitress was hitting on me, which involved obvious compliments, which I don't care about, and putting her hands all over my shoulders and upper chest. We all had a laugh about it after, but I was seriously weirded out by it, and were the genders reversed I guarantee no one would have been laughing about it. X demanded I take down of a single picture of a platonic female friend who I have known over a decade and who is happily married to a mutual friend of ours. Said picture was part of a cluster of 8 total. The other 7 pictures were just group pictures of said platonic friend and mostly other male friends. As a gay guy, women seem to think that it's okay to touch me in a general way and sometimes even in a more inappropriate way. Lady, I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. Sure, we had a nice brief conversation, but don't touch me. Don't wrap your hands around my leg so you can gawk at the size of my legs. Don't squeeze my pec or think that I want a hug despite never having met you before. I'm avoiding physical contact, not only to be respectful of your boundaries, but because I also have boundaries I don't want you to violate. Consent works both ways, always. Don't touch me. Okay, so this is something both me and my brother had happened to us. We are both pretty young, around 20, but we were at some parties where people of all ages were around recently. At one party, we had just finished performing with our orchestra and we were still in our uniforms. Then when I was getting some beers, some random lady of over 40 said to me, would you like to change clothes? I want to look like I'm in the orchestra. So naturally, I'm like, well, I'd rather not, but she was like, oh please. And she kept on trying to talk to me. On another party, some lady, also of over 40, who was really seeking attention, started to hold my brother by the waist. My brother told me he was really weirded out by her. She tried to do this multiple times, even after I lured my brother away by pretending I needed to say something to him. I don't really know if this is something a lot of middle-aged ladies do, but them acting like that really weirded me out, and they seemed to do this as if it was the most normal thing in the world. Perving on men. So many times in the workplace I have heard women say what they would like to do to a certain man, almost drooling in public. If a man said the same comments they would be fired. How has nobody mentioned this? It's definitely not most women, but it does happen sometimes. Get pissed off if you are not in the mood for sex. Like WTF, you're a man. You always want to have sex. Do you not like me anymore? No, Andrea, I was just not horny that day, and yes, I liked you a lot. Setting up traps to test us. Being upset with something we did/said in your dreams. Lying to our faces when we ask direct questions like, what is wrong? How are you? Etc. Edit. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. Seems I hit a few nerves with this comment, all of which have affected us in different ways. Gotta love the, if I'm upset you need to ask me why, and talk about our feelings. But then when that situation arises, and I do just that, and you say nothing, I don't want to talk about it. Don't get mad at I shrug, and leave it be. I'm not going to play that game. This is only really for the gay men out there, I think, but having a girl instantly label you as her gay best friend as soon as she finds out you're gay, like, bitch, I don't even like you. OMG, we should definitely go shopping sometime. Did you watch RuPaul last night? It was such a good episode. Can you take me to the gay club tonight? There are so many attractive guys there. This might be a cultural thing for Latinus, but there were some weird sexual comments said by female family members to my son when he was a toddler. They would call him my boyfriend and ask for kisses in a very aggressive way. When I changed his diapers, they'd stand around and say "Di quien es papi," which roughly translates to "whose dick is that?" Which led me to always change his diaper in a private room, even when told that you can do it here, it's okay. We're all family. One of my aunts even commented on how his dick has grown since he was a baby. Yeah, his whole body has grown. There's no need to talk about his penis specifically. Step away from my child. I guess this is all done in a cute or innocent way, but I never liked it. Thanks for watching, you magnificent being. If you liked the video, subscribe to my channel for more content like this.